出会えたらいいなってずっとそう思って。
この辺りにいるはずだ。
逃げましょう、シルさん。でもどこに行けば。
ベルさん、私に任せてください。
Danmachi Season 5, Episode 3. Okay, we just got done watching it, and here's the thing about the end of the episode, right? Shiny Rowlet, by the way. The thing about the end of the episode is it left us off on Seer taking Belle back to her room, taking a shower, you know, undressing in front of him, whatever, right? Like he gets a cool little moment where he got to see a little more of Seer than he normally does, okay? The problem I have with that twist at the end, or potential twist, or potential like thriller or suspenseful moment at the end, is I know, you know, we know nothing's gonna happen. And it's not only because of what Danmachi is, it's because the fact that Belle's also a kid, right? He's, I don't know, 14, 15 years old. I mean, this could be the moment that he finally decides to become a man and whatever, but it's just not in his nature. He's been seduced or, you know, attempted to be seduced by multiple other women at this point, and nothing's happened. The closest we got was a tender moment he shared probably with Ryu in the dungeon when they were trying to escape. And, you know, they could have had the last hurrah moment, right? Because they both thought that, like, yo, I think we're going to die. And it still didn't happen, right? So if being close to death doesn't get anything to happen in that sense, in that primal urge sense, nothing's going to happen here. So that's kind of my first problem with this episode and stuff is like, or not the episode, but like leaving us off on that cliffhanger is like, we know nothing's going to come of it. Like, even if she were to jump on him naked in the bed, he'll find some way to get out of it. That's just the way that the anime is. So I always say, you know, I much rather prefer that this type of fan service or whatever they're trying to go for, right? Like, one, I never find it funny. And two, it's just kind of a waste of time. So it's like, I prefer that they just kind of skip this stuff because, like, if nothing happens, there's no payoff for the viewer. Like, unless you are somebody who really goes like, you know, really like starts really laughing of like, oh, he ran away and he pushed her off and he jumped out the window and he broke the wall or whatever. if that's you, you know, if that's you, go for it. You know what I mean? But that's just, I just think most folks, including myself, are just gonna like roll our eyes and just be like, yep. So it's just a waste of time. So that's my take on the end. Now, this episode the episode in totality, I felt was, you know, it was cute. It was cute. It was an adorable episode. I thought they shared a really cute date. I like the fact that Seer was kind of a seer herself, knowing that Ryu and the other girls from the bar, the inn, whatever, were there following them. I genuinely like that Eyes, what's her face? I like that Eyes got involved, and I like how when Eyes is kind of seeing Belle in these moments, like he saw her, like, well, he saw him, or she saw him, like, genuinely, like, you know, smile and like kind of laughing and like, you know, date stuff, and you could tell she kind of maybe like got internally jealous, or she's the type of person who I think doesn't quite understand her feelings, kind of thing. So it's one of those scenarios where like there's definitely a feeling of like jealousy or like hatred there, but she may not, freaking Beatty's crooked, man. She may not like totally understand that feeling. You know what I mean? Like, she's that type of person who are like, she could feel like real happiness and she'd be like, what is this? Like, what is this feeling? Why is my heart warm? You know, like that kind of a person. So it's like she's kind of getting jealous, but not really understanding it, and then lashing out. You know, like when Belle was threatened, she was like, "Oh, you're here to, little punk, you're here to try and hurt my Belle." You know what I mean? So I thought that was really cute. But again, with even with the eye stuff, that's reintroducing us to another girl who originally it was like, oh, this is Belle's boo. But then she kind of fell off, and then we had the not demon girl, but I forget what her name is, the the other girl, the demon dungeon girl, you know, whatever. We had her come into the play, and then we swapped to the Ryu stuff, right? And then in between them, you also had this. You still had all the other girls like Lily and Haruhime and Cassandra and some of the other girls, you know, that still kind of took small little spotlights. You know, Makoto. You know, you still had them take little small spotlights kind of throughout. But then you had the two main girls, you know, being there, so they kind of push Eyes to the side. And then now they're like, oh, well, Eyes is a little bit back, but then we also have Seer. So it just kind of convolutes the romance, love interest realm of the story. Now, going back to what I said, this episode was adorable, it was cute, you know, but my main problem with the episode and the whole storyline is even 3 episodes in, I just don't care about Seer. I don't really like her that much. Like, she's fine. I don't think that she has that much of a compelling. I don't think she's that much of a compelling character to begin with. I think the flirtatious jokes that she's had with Belle in the past, like, sure, she flustered him, but I never found it like, oh my god, it was so funny. Did you see what Seer did this episode? It never had those moments. Whatever storyline they're building to, whether she is a goddess candidate, whether she's a fucking sacrifice, you know what I mean? Whether she's like some sacrifice to Freya or, you know, or to some other being or high power being or something, you know, whether her whole existence is to just, you know, die on some fucking pedestal, or whether she is like some transcendent being that's going to like be beamed up to heaven. Or whether there's some other saintess route or spirit route or whatever her thing is, I just die. I just don't care. I just don't care about it. Like in my head, I was like, yo, Belle, just let the Freya familia let them deal with that. And I know it's really, really, really harsh, you know. And when I say just die, just remember she's a fictional character. She doesn't exist. It doesn't really matter. If the author decides to grab an eraser, she's gone anyway. So don't take it too much to heart. You know, she's not real. Okay, it's not a real person. It's a fictional thing. It's a made up. Somebody made up her name and the character, whatever. Okay. But my main thing there is, like, unlike Haruhime, where she was a compelling character and she was a little bit more vulnerable and she had a more of a tragic history, you know, and there was more ties to her with the other familia before, and it introduced us to some of the other members of the familia, and it had Belle go to the, like, red light district, and kind of the way that Haruhime was introduced as, like, this legitimate damsel that needed saving, you know, there's this Hercules type story. I just don't have those same emotions with Seer. And honestly, I don't really even like her design very much. You know what I mean? Unlike Haruhime, where she was like this fox girl, like, you know, like this, like, you know, it's like, oh wow, you know, she has this mysterious. Seer just seems like every other background character in Danmachi. So I don't know. Again, I know I'm being super harsh, and I'm sure there's a lot of Seer fans out there, and I'm sorry, you know. But like everything in the world, not everybody likes the same thing, right? And it's the same thing in the real world, right? It's like you may see a girl or a boy and think that they're the bee's knees, that they're the hottest thing to grace God's given earth. And someone else might go, ugh. You know what I mean? And it's just the way that it is, you know? So anyways, that's how I feel. This episode, I think it was a 7 out of 10. It was a good episode. It was cute. And I think if I were to actually care about the subject matter and the character, I think I would maybe have a bigger feelings about it. But because I don't, I just think that it was a fine episode. So I'm kind of just honestly ready to get to the next arc, or just give me more Freya fan service. You know, at this point, like give me more Freya, give me more hot mama goddess Freya, and maybe I'll be a little bit more satiated. Anyways, I'm gonna leave you guys with those thoughts there. Just past 10 minutes. Holy shit, so sorry about that. I'll see you guys next week for another episode, my friends. Leave that like, leave that comment, disagreement or agreement, and I can't wait to read them as always, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.